You know that awkward moment when you speak and it's like no one even hears you? When you say, "Good morning," and barely get a nod in return. Or when you try to strike up a conversation and the other person just stares at their phone. That doesn't mean you're boring. It just means you haven't learned the rules that separate those who get ignored from those who get noticed, respected, and remembered. The difference between being socially invisible and being someone who naturally commands respect, it's not about your face, your voice, or your clothes. It's about how you activate three powerful traits: likability, influence, and charisma. And that's exactly what you're going to learn today with real, practical examples in this quick method to make friends and be admired without saying much. Yes, you heard that right. Because likability here doesn't mean being cute or overly nice. It means creating a kind of presence that draws people in. Influence in this context is getting others to open up, to listen to you, and to respect you effortlessly. And charisma? It's not a gift. It's emotional engineering. It's behavior. It's a skill you can train. But let me warn you, this isn't a video to watch while you're distracted. Because what's coming next isn't just another tip. It's a map to a kind of social power that most people never master. So if you're ready to stop being ignored for good, drop a comment below saying, "I'm done being ignored." Hit that like button, and let's dive in. Some people spend their whole lives trying to be nice to everyone, always smiling, always trying to please, avoiding conflict at all costs. But why is it that, even then, they still get ignored in meetings, forgotten in conversations, or left out of important decisions? What they haven't realized yet is this: being nice is not the same as being charismatic. People with true magnetic presence aren't out there trying to please everyone. They have posture, clarity, and an energy that radiates confidence without trying too hard. They don't go around complaining, criticizing everything, or playing the victim whenever something's uncomfortable. Quite the opposite. They understand that every negative word weakens their interpersonal connection. Psychologically speaking, the human brain goes into defense mode the moment it feels judged or threatened, even by something as subtle as a microexpression. And that instantly blocks any chance of real influence or persuasion. People who truly master social skills know that effective communication doesn't start with your mouth. It starts with your energy. If you want to make genuine connections and influence others naturally, you need to let go of the need for approval. Charisma doesn't come from shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's world. It comes from owning your space with empathy and emotional intelligence. And yes, this is a skill you can learn, even if you think you weren't born with it. But here's the catch. It only starts to work when you stop trying to please everyone and learn one rule that can transform any conversation. And that's exactly what's coming next. Rule number 1, use the mirror effect. The most charismatic people you've ever met probably have one thing in common. Even if they've never read a single page of Dale Carnegie, they make you feel interesting. Not because they're great talkers, but because they spark the joy of talking about yourself. And that's not luck, it's strategy. The human brain releases dopamine when we talk about our own experiences. People who understand this can build almost instant rapport. Truly charismatic individuals know that active listening is one of the most powerful social skills there is. A simple way to put this into practice is with what I call the reflective sequence. Instead of changing the subject or jumping in to talk about yourself, keep the focus on the other person using 3 genuine follow-up questions. For example, if someone says they love running, you might ask, "What excites you most about it? How did you get into it? What's your favorite part of a run?" See what's happening? You're not trying to impress. You're creating space for them to feel heard, valued, and safe. That's communication in its purest, most effective form. Charismatic people influence without pushing, persuade without pressure, and make friends without seeming desperate for attention. They master the art of emotional reflection, creating a kind of mirror where others feel seen, accepted, and naturally drawn in. But this is just the first gear in a much more powerful system of connection and influence. Next, we'll tap into one of the brain's most addictive circuits. Rule number 2, validate without lying. There's something deeply powerful about feeling validated when someone truly acknowledges what you're going through without trying to fix it, judge it, or downplay it. This isn't about giving empty compliments. It's about recognizing the real value behind someone's attitude or action with sincerity. People with magnetic presence know exactly how to do this. They compliment behaviors, not vague labels. Instead of saying, "You're amazing," they'll say something like, "I really admired how you stayed calm in such a tough situation." That kind of genuine validation triggers the brain's reward system. It releases dopamine, builds emotional connection, and opens the door for influence to happen naturally. Charisma isn't some spotlight you switch on when you walk into a room. It's the reflection of how others feel when they're around you. Here's a simple and powerful practice. Notice when someone does something positive, no matter how small, and validate out loud. Let's say a colleague shares a simple idea in a meeting. Instead of just nodding, you could say, "I really appreciated how you spotted that detail no one else noticed." That's not flattery. That's empathy applied with emotional intelligence. This kind of validation builds quiet respect. It doesn't require a big performance. It doesn't need a spotlight. It's in small, intentional actions like these where the true power of influence lives. But here's the thing. There's one often overlooked detail in this technique. It's even simpler than you might think. And once you use it, you'll start to notice a very different look in people's eyes when they talk to you. Rule number 3, the small gesture that changes everything. There's one gesture so small that most people overlook it, yet has a massive impact on how we're perceived. And that gesture is simply this: using someone's name. When you call someone by their name, you trigger something deep in their brain. According to research highlighted by Dale Carnegie, a person's name is to them the sweetest and most important sound in any language. And that's not just poetic, it's neurological. Hearing your own name activates brain regions linked to identity and reward. In other words, using the right name at the right moment is a superpower for effective communication. There's a well-known story from a US company where a manager, frustrated with his unmotivated team, tried something simple. He memorized everyone's name and began using them intentionally in daily conversations. The result? Team morale skyrocketed, conflicts dropped, and productivity went way up. That's what real influence looks like in action. And the wild part? Most people had no idea what had changed. It felt like social magic, but it was simply smart human connection. Using someone's name shows attention, respect, empathy, and instantly creates a sense of closeness. If you want to make friends and earn respect without saying much, learn people's names. And if you mess up, just apologize and get it right next time. Even that shows you care. But listen closely, because there's an even more powerful technique. It doesn't involve names or even words. And it's something the world's most respected leaders use effortlessly, without ever seeming like they're trying to influence anyone. Rule number 4, the mental image technique. Giving direct orders might get the job done, but more often than not, it creates resistance. Now, when you paint a clear and positive mental image, people feel inspired, not pressured. Charismatic leaders like Barack Obama and Oprah are masters at this. They don't say, "Do this now." They say things like, "Imagine what it would be like if we were all moving in the same direction, with energy and purpose." That activates the imagination, which then activates emotion. And where there's emotion, there's influence. Instead of telling a coworker, "Stop being so negative," you could say, "Can you imagine how much lighter the atmosphere here would feel if everyone brought a solution along with the problem?" This isn't about manipulation. It's about influencing people in a more strategic and more empathetic way. The mental image technique works hand in hand with body language, tone of voice, and how you hold yourself in a space that it's an invitation, not a demand. And that completely changes how your message is received. This is what separates someone who merely gives orders from someone who inspires. When you paint positive scenarios, you bring out the best in people. You create desire, not obligation. And the most fascinating part? Many times, the person listening ends up believing the idea was theirs all along. But there's still one final element, subtle, silent, and invisible, that ties all of this together. It has no sound, no words, just presence. Rule number 5, listen with your eyes. Real listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak while pretending to pay attention. True listening means being fully present with your whole body. It means putting the phone away, stopping the clock watching, leaning in just a bit, and showing through your eyes that you're really there in that moment. This kind of active listening communicates something rare today: deep, unconditional respect. And when someone feels truly heard, they naturally start to trust you more. People with real charisma do this all the time. They don't just hear words, they pick up on emotions. They subtly mirror body language, match facial expressions, pause with intention. They're not in a rush to respond. They're genuinely interested in understanding. Listening with your eyes is an underrated social skill, but it's the difference between a forgettable chat and a meaningful connection. Social trust is built in these silent, often unnoticed details. While most people try to grab attention by speaking louder, those who master listening gain admiration through silence. And in that well-held silence, something magnetic begins to form. But here's the best part. You can amplify this even further with one simple, practical challenge, something that can completely shift how people see you in just 24 hours. If you want to truly feel what magnetic presence is like, there's a simple experiment that can completely shift the way you connect with the world around you. No courses, no heavy reading, just 24 hours. During that time, you'll commit to 4 simple but powerful actions. Don't criticize anyone, no matter how tempted you are. Give 3 genuine compliments, but focus on specific behaviors, not vague praise. Learn and remember the name of a stranger. Listen to someone for a full 3 minutes, without interrupting, without planning your reply. Just listen. It sounds easy, but this challenge takes full presence, emotional control, and real empathy that activates the core of effective communication and strengthens every social skill you've learned in this video. Think of it as an intensive charisma workout in real life that you'll start to notice how people respond differently, how they open up more easily, how you begin to influence others simply by the way you show up, that you'll feel lighter, more grounded, more respected, without having to change who you are, just by adjusting how you express yourself. This challenge isn't about impressing others. It's about transforming your presence. Small actions that open big doors. And once you experience that shift, you'll understand why Dale Carnegie is still quoted nearly a century later. But more importantly, you won't just understand it. You'll feel it. And once you feel it, you'll want more. Everything you've learned today isn't just a list of cool tips. It's a toolkit, a set of levers you can use. And the more you practice, the more natural it feels. You'll feel more confident, and you'll start to receive a kind of quiet respect without ever needing to raise your voice. Start small. Pick just one of these ideas and try it out in the next 24 hours. The world will respond to you differently. Now tell me, which technique are you going to try first? Drop in the comments. I'd love to support you personally on this. And if this video sparks something in you, share it with someone who also deserves to discover this power.